In the unforgiving heart of the African savanna, a frail lioness stood her ground against a pack of ruthless hyenas, determined to protect her vulnerable cubs. Weakened by hunger but driven by fierce maternal instinct, she launched into a desperate fight for survival. What unfolded next left even seasoned wildlife experts stunned. The crimson sun spilled across the dry, unforgiving plains of the Kalavati Transfrontier Park, casting a harsh glow over a land gripped by relentless drought. Once lush grasslands had withered into a barren stretch of cracked earth and brittle shrubs. Beneath the weight of the scorching sky, a lone lioness, her ribs sharply visible through her thinning coat, moved wearily, striving to keep up with her two fragile cubs. The two small, ragged cubs stumbled behind her, their eyes wide with hunger that gnawed at them from within. This was Layla, a lioness who had journeyed from the northern reaches of the park, chasing prey that had long since disappeared from her once familiar hunting grounds. The trek had been a punishing ordeal, a desperate gamble for survival that left her emaciated and her cubs teetering on the edge of starvation. They were strangers in this unforgiving land, their senses overwhelmed by unfamiliar scents and the constant presence of danger. Layla hadn't made a kill in weeks. The once formidable huntress now struggled to even stalk a hare, let alone larger prey. Her milk, once her cub's lifeline, had thinned to a watery trickle. Yet, driven by a fierce, unyielding instinct, she pressed on, determined to protect them at any cost. She shielded her cubs from the harsh realities of their plight. One sweltering afternoon, as Layla and her cubs sought refuge beneath a thorny acacia, a low growl rumbled through the air. A pack of hyenas, their eyes gleamed with predatory hunger, emerged from the shadows. Layla, despite her emaciated frame, rose to her feet, her man a sparse, ragged crown. She bared her teeth, a low guttural growl escaping her throat, her cubs sensing the danger huddled by behind her, their fears palpable. The hyenas, emboldened by Layla's weakened state, circled her, their menacing cackles echoing across the desolate landscape. Layla knew she was outnumbered, outmatched, but she would not yield. She was a mother and her cubs were her world. The first hyena lunged, its sharp teeth snapping. Layla, with a burst of adrenaline, born of desperation, swiped at the attacker, her claws tearing through its thick hide. A chaotic brawl ensued, the air filled with growls, snarls, and the sickening thud of claws against flesh. Layla fought with a ferocity that belied her frail condition, her every move fueled by a mother's unwavering love. If you're as captivated by Layla's bravery as I am, please hit that like button and tell me in the comments, what do you think will happen next? Will Layla be able to protect her cubs? Your thoughts and predictions are welcome. She managed to drive off the hyenas, but the fight had taken its toll. She collapsed, her breath ragged, her body trembling. Her cubs, their eyes filled with fear and confusion, nuzzled against her, their whimper a haunting melody in the desolate silence. Meanwhile, deep within the Kalavati Transfrontier Park, Rangers James and Julie patrolled the arid landscape. His weathered face was etched with concern. The drought had taken a heavy toll on the wildlife, and he had witnessed the heartbreaking sight of animals succumbing to starvation. He had a sixth sense for the animals under his care. That morning, as the first ray of sun painted the eastern horizon in hues of golden roses, James had embarked on his routine patrol, but something fell amiss. A subtle shift in the rhythm of the savannah. He noticed a set of unfamiliar lion tracks, faint and wavering like whispers, etched into the parched earth, heading towards the park's southern boundary, a region rarely frequented by lions. A knot of concern tightened in his chest. He had followed them, his heart sinking. With each step, each paw print a testament to the lioness' dwindling strength. The tracks told a story of desperation, of a mother struggling to keep her cubs alive, a harrowing journey etched in the dust of the Kalavati. He imagined her gaunt and weary, her cubs stumbling behind her, their eyes pleading for sustenance. The weight of the drought, the silent suffering of the animals pressed down on him with crushing force. As the sun began its descent, casting long, ominous shadows across the plains, turning the golden grasslands into a tapestry of deep blues and purples, James spotted a cluster of vultures circling in the distance, their dark silhouettes against the fading light. A grim moment. His heart pounded, a heavy rhythmic thumping in his chest, a stark contrast to the stillness of the savannah. He knew what that meant, the vulture's silent, vigilant testament to the presence of death or near death. He urged his vehicle forward, the wheels kicking up a cloud of red dust, his eyes scanning the horizon. His senses heightened, his intuition screaming at him to hurry. He found them huddled beneath the skeletal branches of a thorny acacia, its shade offering little respite from the lingering heat. Layla lay motionless, her body a thin, tawny silhouette against the cracked earth. Her cubs whimpering beside her, their small bodies trembling with fear and hunger. The sight was heart-wrenching, a scene of raw vulnerability that tore Layla's soul. He approached cautiously, his senses alert, his eyes taking in the scene with a practiced eye. He could see the wounds on Layla, evidence of a brutal struggle, the marks of claws and teeth etched in her thin hide, a testament to her desperate fight for survival. He knelt beside her, his weathered hand gently touching her flank. He checked her vital signs. Her breathing was shallow, ragged gasps that barely stirred the air. Her pulse was weak, a faint, erratic flutter beneath her skin, a desperate whisper of life. She was on the verge of death, her life hanging by a thread, her strength depleted, her spirit fading. He knew he had to act quickly, that every second counted. James radioed for backup, his voice urgent but steady, requesting urgent medical assistance, his words echoing across the silent plains. He then retrieved his medical kit, his hands steady, despite the urgency of the situation, his movements precise and practiced. He administered a powerful stimulant, a carefully measured dose, carefully injecting it into Layla's depleted muscle tissue, hoping to reignite the spark of life within her. He turned his attention to the cubs, their eyes wide with fear, their small bodies trembling with a mixture of terror and hunger. He opened a container of diluted milk powder, a lifeline for orphaned or starving animals, a precious resource in the face of the relentless drought. The cubs, hesitant at first, their instincts wary of the strange human approach, the bottle, their hunger, overriding their fear. They drank greedily, their tiny bodies trembling with relief, their eyes closing in momentary bliss as the warm milk soothed their empty stomachs. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the savannah in a twilight glow, Layla stirred. She opened her eyes, her gaze blurry, her body weak. She saw her cubs, their faces lit by the fading light, and a wave of relief washed over her. James, watching from a distance, breathed a sigh of relief. The stimulant had worked. Layla was alive, but he knew her struggle was far from over. He placed a large portion of fresh antelope meat near Layla, hoping it would provide her with the nourishment she desperately needed. Then he retreated, leaving her to recover in peace. The night was long and fraught with danger. Her strength, slowly returning, kept a vigilant watch over her cubs. The sounds of the savannah, the distant roar of a male lion, the cackle of hyenas, the rustle of unseen creatures filled the air, a constant reminder of the perils that surrounded them. The next morning, James returned, his heart pounding with anticipation. He found Layla devouring the antelope meat, her cubs eagerly sharing a meal. She was weak, but she was alive, and she was feeding her cubs. James knew he couldn't leave them to fend for themselves. He radioed his superiors, requesting permission to provide Layla and her cubs with supplementary food. They approved, recognizing the dire circumstances. For the next 10 days. James delivered fresh meat to Layla and her cubs. He watched as they slowly regained their strength, their bodies filling out, their spirits lifting. He saw Layla's eyes regain their fierce, protective glint. On the 11th day, James witnessed a sight that filled him with joy, her movements fluid and confident. Spotting a young springbok, Layla's cubs watched with wide eyes as their mother crouched low. With a swift, precise pounce, she brought down her prey, a triumphant roar slicing through the stillness of the savannah. That night, under the stars, Layla and her cubs feasted on the meal they had so desperately needed. From a distance, James watched, his heart full of pride. He had witnessed a quiet miracle, a powerful reminder of life's resilience and the boundless strength of a mother's love. As James drove away, Layla lifted her gaze, her eyes meeting his. There was no fear, no hostility, only a quiet recognition, a fleeting spark of gratitude. Behind her, the cubs, now lively and full of energy, chased one another across the open plains, their playful cries echoing like music in the still night air. The story of Layla and her cubs soon spread across the park, touching the hearts of all who heard it. A beacon of hope in the midst of hardship, their stories served as a powerful reminder that even in the harshest conditions, life finds a way to endure, and that compassion can change everything. James continued to monitor Layla and her cubs, watching them grow stronger with each passing day. Their bond remained unbreakable, their future promising. In time, their journey became woven into the very spirit of the Calavati, a quiet echo of the savanna and a lasting testament to the wild's unyielding will to survive. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you liked this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.